Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of Double K's College Roundup, the final edition for this part of the season, in which I tell you basically my opinions on who I think is going to win the Pac-12 conference. Let's see. Let's start out with me giving you my three kind of teams that I thought at the beginning of the season were teams that could contend. And then I'll give you a fourth dark horse that I thought to contend, but that one fell off really bad so far this season. And then I'll give you my overall prediction. First up is the Stanford Cardinal. The Cardinals sit at 3-0 right now, 2-0 in the Pac-12. Their next game is Saturday against number 10 Washington. And I believe that's a matchup that they can win again. And even though Washington's ranked number 10, I believe that they will be able to go in there and pretty much knock Washington out of the loop. They sit at 4-0 right now, 1-0 in the Pac-12, which is what keeps them up there. Stanford has beaten Kansas State at home, or Kansas State in their own, or Kansas State in Palo Alto. USC 27-10 in Palo Alto. They had a comeback victory over the UCLA Bruins 22-13 this past weekend, and then like I said, they travel to Washington to take on Washington next week. They're averaging 137 yards per game in the air, good for 122nd in the conference. They're averaging 205 yards on the ground, led by Christian McCaffrey, which is good for 43rd, puts them in the top 50. They're averaging 25 points per game, which puts them at 97th in the NCAA, and are allowing only 12 points a game, which puts them in the top 10 at 8th. My adjusted projection for them is 11-1, 8-1 in the Pac-12. I believe I had them going like 9-3 before, but 11-1 with it. Looks at how good this team is, with their only loss probably coming to Oregon in Eugene. So we'll see how the season pans out for them. But next up was a team that I had high expectations for, but their current record sits at 2-2. 0-1 in the Pac-12 after their this week's loss to Stanford. Their next game is against Arizona at home this upcoming weekend. They lost to Texas A&M to start the season. They beat UNLV to start the season, beat BYU, and then lost to Stanford to even their record at 2-2. They're averaging 295 yards in the air, which puts them at 25th in the conference, or in the NCAA in passing. Rushing, they're 118 yards per game, which puts them at 114, so they're the exact opposite of Stanford. They're going through the air with Mr. Josh Rosen at quarterback. The points for is at 24 points a game, 103rd in the NCAA, and opponents they're averaging giving up 22 a game, which puts them 41st overall. Their adjusted projection now is 9-3, 6-3 in the Pac-12, and I believe that they will be facing off against Stanford for the conference championship. But here's some other teams just to keep an eye out for. You have the Oregon Ducks, who sit at 2-2. They opened up the season in the Pac-12 0-1. Their next game is against Washington State in Washington. They beat Davis. They beat Virginia. They lost to Nebraska, and they lost this last week to Colorado. So they probably won't lose 3 games in a row. Mark Felich, I believe his name is, has them averaging 260 yards in the air, 45th in the NCAA, 275 yards on the ground, 8th in the NCAA. They're averaging 42 points a game, which puts them at 25th. And then they're giving up 33, which puts them at 97th for scoring defense in the NCAA. My adjusted record for them is 8-4, 6-3 overall in the Pac-12. They'll fall short of trying to take down Stanford and end Stanford's run atop the Pac-12 North, but we'll see what happens as far as how their season pans out. USC. Was my dark horse. My dark horse is now Cal, just so you know. Want to say their record at USC's current record is 1-3, 0-2 in the Pac-12. Their next game is coming up against ASU, and it doesn't look like they're going to win that one, with ASU being 4-0. But they lost to Alabama to open up the season. They lost to I forgot who it is, USU. They lost to Stanford, and then they lost to Utah. This UST team, as good as it can be, is nowhere near that good, and it doesn't look like they're going to be making that much of an impact. At the end of the season, the team that I see either going to the Rose Bowl or vaulting themselves into the college football playoff will be the Stanford Cardinal. A team that's currently ranked number 7, and I think will continue to climb the rankings if they continue to win games and to remain undefeated as other teams fall off and take losses. So that's my projection. The Stanford Cardinal will win the Pac-12 and take home, I believe, will be a second consecutive Pac-12 championship. I've been Double K. That's it for today. Y'all check me out on the Raw Impact Unleashed, or not Raw Impact Unleashed, but West Coast Bias every Sunday live at 3. You check me out on Double K's Classroom Podcast every other Friday night. You can also check me out on Twitter at Double KK. You can check me out on Facebook at Double K's Classroom. Just type it into the search engine, you'll find the fan page. And then also you can find me on YouTube at Double KK. Have a good day. Peace.